Hi, Assalamualaikum. How are you there? Now I will explain to you how pawn moves. The piece that is the most complicated pieces to move is pawn, because the way pawn move and attack the enemy is different. However, another pieces like a rook, a knight, bishop, and queen or king is in same way how they move and how they take something. So the most complicated thing is the pawn. Okay, now the first thing, pawn only can move forward, cannot move backward. Okay, let's see. Pawn moves here, okay, how? Okay, this is a different setting. That's I don't know. Black move first, usually white move first. Okay, pawn always move forward, cannot move. Now the black turns right, cannot move backward. Also white cannot move backward, always can move forward, can move one step or two step, but only in the first move can move two step. On the first stage, when the pawn never moves before, so pawn can move two step if there are no friends or no opponent in front of them. I mean, if it's clear way, so they can move two step or one step. Okay, let's see, can go here. Okay, after they move one step, the D pawn move one step, it cannot move two step after that because it already moved. So it only can move one step. So the first rule is pawn cannot move backward, and the second rule is pawn only can move two step or two square on the first move, when the pawn never moved before. Okay, now how pawn can attack or capture the enemy. Okay, pawn capture the enemy or attack the enemy by moving diagonally one square. Okay, let's say go here. So if you see this position, this pawn only can attack this pawn or take this pawn, cannot take the in front of one, the pawn that in front of the pawn. So only can take diagonally, can this way or can this way. Let's say go here first and go here. So white pawn can go either this way or either this way. Okay, can go here or can go here. Okay, same with black can take here, or if there is somebody here, let's say here, black cannot take here, only can take this way or this way. Okay, the third rule is pawn can take or capture diagonally one square, cannot take two square diagonally, only one square. Okay, let's say takes here, this also takes here. After that, this pawn can choose either take this or moving forward. That's how pawn moves. Let's say go here. Okay, and the fourth rule is when the pawn reach the final square, it can promote. So this rule we call as a promotion. What is promotion? Pawn can change to anything except king or pawn itself. So the pawn can change to queen, can change to rook, can change to knight, or can change to bishop. So the question is, can we have two queens? Let's say we have two promotion pawn. The answer is yes, we can promote 2 pawn, and we can promote more than 1 pawn become to queen. Okay, let me show you. Let's say go here. Okay, let's say this one go here, this one go here, this one go here. Oh, sorry. This one go here, this one go here, and this one, when the white pawn can reach the 8th rank, we call it as promotion. Or if the black pawn can reach the 1st rank, there is a promotion for black. Let's say go here, so it can promote to a queen. Actually we can choose into a rook, become a bishop, or become a rook, except become a king. So same with this, can promote to a queen, and this is immediately checked, so we should respond to this. And I will show you, we can have 2 queen. Okay, we can have 2 queen here. So when I move here, so we have 2 queen. That's the next rule, is a promotion. When the pawn reach the final board or the final square, so the pawn can promote to anything. It can become a queen, rook, bishop, or knight, except the king or the pawn itself. And the last rule of the pawn, which the beginner usually don't know, is we call as en passant. What is en passant? It's the unique way of pawn capture enemy pawn, the opponent pawn. So the pawn can take enemy pawn by a unique way. Let me show you. Okay, let's move here, and this black pawn can move to the 4th rank. So the en passant only valid for the black pawn on the 4th rank, or the white pawn in the 5th rank. So let me show you for the black, for this pawn. So how en passant works? En passant works when white pawn, the enemy pawn is white, the white pawn move to square beside the black pawn, like this. Only 2 square, cannot 1 square, only 2 square. So the black pawn now can take like this, diagonally can take like this. So automatically this pawn is gone, because it's already taken by this black pawn. Okay, that's the how en passant works. So we have some rules also for en passant. Let's say, okay, the first rule is, if the white pawns or the enemy pawn moves like this, and black move another pawn or another pieces, let's say king moves, and then pawn moves again. Now this time black pawn cannot take, because the opportunity already left behind. So en passant can work only after the pawn moves, cannot move after two turn after that. Only can work after the enemy pawn move. So directly take after that. Like this. So the pawn is already taken. And what if this pawn, okay, let me show you for white. Okay, for how white. Okay, let me show you how white moves. Okay, this is for white. Okay, now white already reached the 5th rank. Like I said to you, this is only valid for the fifth pawn on the 5th rank for white, or pawn on the 4th rank for black. Now the white pawn already reached the 5th rank. Now this the when how n person work, when the a pawn or the c pawn of black move like this, sorry, so the white pawns can take this way or can take this way. Okay, let me show you here. So the white pawn can take this way or this way, can take this way. So after taking this, this black pawn can take also. That's the rule of en passant. You can find it very regularly in the game, so don't miss the opportunity of en passant if it works. Sometimes it will work, sometimes en passant is not good for your game. So I just tell you how pawn move. That's all. Hopefully you can learn something from this lecture from me. So thank you.